My eye-opening experience in a driverless taxi. Would I do it again? Imagine this: you step into a sleek, driverless taxi, and as the door closes, you realize there's no one behind the wheel. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is the reality of today's technology, and I recently had the chance to experience it firsthand. You might have heard Elon Musk's bold claims about how your Tesla could earn you money as a robotaxi. But if you're like many others who have left X, formerly Twitter, you might have missed his latest promises. In fact, a staggering 11 million users in the EU have abandoned the platform recently, according to a transparency report. Musk has been talking about the future of robotaxis since 2019, predicting a fleet of 1 million would be cruising the streets by 2022. Spoiler alert, that hasn't happened yet. The idea of turning your Tesla into a money-making machine while you're at work or on vacation sounds appealing, but it's still just that, an idea. Tesla does offer a service called full self-driving, but don't be fooled, it still requires a human to supervise. On the self-driving scale, it's rated as level 2, which means it's not quite ready to take the wheel completely. Meanwhile, competitors like Waymo, backed by Google, are already making strides in the robotaxi space, operating in cities like San Francisco and Austin, completing around 250,000 rides a week. I had the opportunity to try Waymo's service during a recent trip to San Francisco, and let me tell you, it was an experience. The cars are fully autonomous, equipped with an array of sensors and cameras, and they navigate the streets without a human driver. At first, I was a bit apprehensive about getting into a car with no one at the helm, but once I buckled up, I was amazed at how smoothly it operated. It obeyed traffic signs, stopped for pedestrians, and drove with a level of caution that made me feel safer than ever in a taxi. Before this experience, I was skeptical about driverless taxis. The thought of trusting technology to navigate unpredictable situations made me uneasy. What if a child suddenly darted in front of the car? What if someone threw something at it? And how does Waymo ensure that passengers behave appropriately? Despite these concerns, the advantages of driverless cars are hard to ignore. They are available 24/7, don't get tired or distracted, and eliminate the risks associated with human drivers, like speeding or reckless maneuvers. Plus, there's no cash on board to steal, and the cars are monitored around the clock. However, before we get too excited about the rise of robotaxis, it's important to note that the regulations in the EU are quite different from those in the US. Many EU countries are still figuring out how to integrate autonomous vehicles safely, and it may be a while before we see robotaxis on our streets. And let's not forget that not everyone is ready to embrace this tech-driven future. Some people prefer the comfort of having a human behind the wheel, and the idea of a drone delivering your dinner might sound like a nightmare to others. So, would I use a driverless taxi again? Absolutely. My experience with Waymo was eye-opening, and it made me reconsider my initial hesitations. Perhaps one day, the thought of sending my car off to earn money while I relax at home will be a reality I can embrace.